ESPN Pensacola 94.5, also on your HD radio at HD2 98.7 WYCT, and streaming on our website, ESPNpensacola.com. Welcome into Sports Call with Jordan and Davis right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5. We're hanging out, having a lot of fun here on this Saturday. Going to be talking sports over the next 2 hours. Lots to talk about between things going on inside the NBA with the Lakers, the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard. Could he be staying in Toronto? Rather doubt it, but we'll be talking about that. We'll also be talking about some Women's World Cup. How about Team USA with the big win over France yesterday? So all that and more coming up on today's show. But I think we should start off right there with Team USA winning 2-1 over France, because that's the fresh thing on everybody's mind. People are waking up still draped in their American flags, and it's not just because Thursday's 4th of July.
Yeah. A lot of people said that this quarterfinal match was a match that could be set for the finals as well. So it was actually a great game. France came back. They scored their first goal with 10 minutes left in the game. They were pushing really hard there in the last 10 minutes of that game, but they just couldn't get a shot on goal or get any opportunities to get in.
France was supposed to be that team that was going to be challenging Team USA. They looked weak against Spain. It took 2 penalty kicks by Megan Rapinoe to give them that 2-0 or 2-1 win. It was 2-1 win. Yeah. And then go against France. Megan Rapinoe again with 2 more goals, winning the game once again for Team USA over the France. Same result, 2-1. And now you have England coming up in the semifinals on Tuesday. And we'll be diving into that here in just a moment. But a big win for Team USA, another good win for Megan Rapinoe, especially coming off a week that I call a week full of distraction. You have Megan Rapinoe saying in an interview before that she's not going to the White House, win or lose, and then President Trump decides he's going to put a little fuel on the fire, and he's going to say, you know what? How dare you disrespect the country, but I challenge you guys. I'm going to invite you to the White House regardless, win or lose. Now let's see if you're a patriot or not. Win or lose, I want you coming to the White House. Which, to me, in my ears, you're telling them don't come to the White House. You're essentially telling the team don't come to the White House. And if I'm Team USA at this point, I would be inclined to defending my teammate. So win or lose, I have a feeling Team USA is not going to the White House, period.
No, they're not going to the White House, period, because you mentioned it, defending their teammate. Oh, by the way, her fiancé is one of her teammates on Team USA. So that is another factor there, that team is going to rally behind her. They're probably not going to go to the White House whether they win this or lose this. And, I think that it was a story when it first started happening. Now, at this point, I say, you know what? Just screw it. If they want to go to the White House, they'll go to the White House. If not, why is it a news story? If they don't want to go, they have every right to say no. It's like for a guy like Tom Brady, who's got 6 Super Bowl rings. If he doesn't want to go to the White House again after winning another Super Bowl the rest of his career, he does not have to. He's been there before. If it's the first time, I could understand why people would be like, why don't you want to go to the White House? It's the White House. Regardless of who's in the Oval Office, it's the White House. But if you've been there multiple times, like Team USA has, why would you want to go back? I mean, you don't have to go back.
Yeah, and has Alex Morgan done anything since the Thailand game? I don't think she
Not
has.
really.
Yeah.
No, it's been all Megan Rapinoe.
Magazine covers.
Yeah.
That's about it. Magazine covers.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, she is the captain of the team, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, she's the captain, then Megan Rapinoe is the assistant captain.
Megan Rapinoe used to be the head captain, I'm pretty sure, until all the controversy started, I think.
No, she's been the assistant captain, at least for this World Cup.
I know, but I think it was like 2 years ago when she kneeled during the national anthem.
Right, and then they came out with a new policy where you have to stand for the flag. Yeah. So what does she do now? She stands, hands behind her back, doesn't sing the anthem, or doesn't have her hand over her heart. And again, I've been in this argument before with my parents. Even my parents completely disagree with my look on this. I will always stand and have my hand across my heart every single time and sing the national anthem. That is me. I will do it every single time. But I will also defend someone's right to free speech. And if you do not want to stand and kneel, or if you do not want to stand for the cross, if you kneel for the cross, even though I may not be a fan of it, I understand that legally you can do that. In the end of the day, I am still going to watch the game, because why did I turn on my TV? Why did I decide to pay money to go attend this matchup? It wasn't
for the national anthem. It was the game. Yeah.
It wasn't to see who's going to stir some controversy during the national anthem. It's to watch the game. And again, I may completely disagree with you doing it, But at the same time, I'm going to still stand up for your First Amendment rights. If you can do it, that's fine. I'm not going to participate and join you in it, but I will still enjoy the game and look at you as an athlete rather than a protester or someone trying to make a statement.
And you know what's funny about this entire conversation, whether it's about this incident with Team USA or any NBA players that might have done it, or what the big polarizing topic of this situation has been with the NFL doing it, if you talk to members of the military, if you talk to veterans who have served overseas and put their life on the line, they go, I went over there and put my life on the line, so they have the right to do that. So it doesn't bother them whatsoever because they understand they put their life on the line to give people the right to do that in this country. So, yeah, that's kind of the interesting proponent that nobody really ever mentions.
And that's not I've certainly known veterans who have stood up and they have been completely against.
Right, but there are
like
most,
Colin Kaepernick. Like Colin Kaepernick, that's you say the name and then they go off, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's not everybody who feels the same way, right? They all, not all. There are definitely some that completely oppose kneeling, because they stood up for the U.S. and fought for us and gave us the right to be able to stand up and have our hands over our hearts and say the national anthem with pride. But at the same time, we are still allowed to exercise our First Amendment rights.
That's right, yeah.
Those players are allowed to. And again, as much as I disagree, they have that right. So what am I going to do? Am I going to now protest them protesting? Or am I going to accept the fact that they do have the right to do that, whether I like it or not, and just continue to watch the game? For me personally, and this is just me personally, I am going to continue to watch the game because that is why I'm here. That is what I'm doing. I'm here to watch the game. If you want to stir up the controversy and be a part of it, then so be it. I'm just going to focus on the game.
No, and I agree with you. Look, I'm right in the same boat as you. Whenever the national anthem happens, if I'm at a live sporting event, I will stand, put my hand over the heart. Even sometimes when it's a televised game and they do the national anthem and they air it for like a Super Bowl or something like that, you feel a little out of place if you don't stand and put your hand over your heart. So it's just kind of something that I'm just like you. It's something that I do, whether watching a game at home and they air it on the TV as part of the game, or I'm at the game live. I'm standing, I'm putting my hand over the heart. That's what you do for the national anthem. But I do agree with you that these people have the right in this country that if they don't want to stand for it, whoever it is, whatever athlete it is in whatever sport, they don't have to.
But I now want to look at, I don't know exactly who, I forget exactly who Megan Rapinoe was speaking with when all this controversy began. I want to say it was either Vanity Fair or may have been another magazine, but they asked her the question, if you win, are you going to be going to the White House? And she said blank no. I'm not going to the blanking White House.
Daily
so,
Mail.
And this is
this as an article?
Yeah, it was the Daily Mail that has an article here. Let's see. They may have in there.
Let's see. It looks about
8x8 magazine is who she was talking to.
Okay, so she's speaking to this magazine, and they asked her
Which
a
I believe
question.
is a soccer magazine.
Yeah.
They asked her the question, and I want to believe that they only asked the question just so they could publish this.
Oh, they did.
Just so they could kind of stir the pot.
They did.
Just,
Absolutely.
It's kind of obvious, right, that this tabloid or magazine, whatever they may be, they ask her the obvious question where they know her answer. They know what the answer is going to be, but they want to write about it. They want to publish it. And so she gives her obvious response. And hey, you know what? If she is that strong about how she feels about the president to where she's willing to talk about it now, she's willing to address it, and just lay it all out on the line and basically create a distraction, look, if she feels that strong for it, then I hope she stands by it. I really hope she stands by it. But then here comes President Trump, who, so often I just don't think he can get out of his own way. I really don't. He has to pick up the phone. He has to tweet. He has to let everybody know, and Team USA, that it's disrespectful what it is that you are saying. So now I challenge you, win or lose, I now invite you to the White House. Let's see if you're going to actually be patriotic and come to the White House. You're forcing their hand. Really, but to me, you're forcing your hand to defend their teammate and now say, we're not going to go now because you're putting us in this position. And then that, for a lot of Americans, will make them look bad because they're not going to want to go to the White House. At this point, join the club. The Golden State Warriors not going to the White House. The Toronto Raptors, that's still up in the air whether they're going to go to the White House or not. There have been other teams that have decided not to go to the White House because of this controversy, because of this basically pointless controversy. And it's a two-way street. Megan Rapinoe could have avoided the question. She could have just circled around it and gave a PR response, but she did not. Or President Trump could have just ignored it. But we all know him. He's not going to just ignore it. He's going to address it and kind of puts that fuel on the fire. At this point, I don't think there's really a winner in this one. There's not going to be a winner in this one.
Because people are going to down Team USA if they don't go to the White House. People are going to down President Trump for adding more fuel to the fire. Either way, somebody's going to say the other party's wrong, and that's what's called politics. I mean, that's what it is. Unfortunately, when politics are brought into things, this is how they are. So, this is something that this should not even be a story. So what if she doesn't want to go to the White House?
See, to me, can't we just play the game?
Yeah.
Can't we just play the game and just do that? I hate the fact that politics somehow manages. It really started to me in during this presidency.
Oh yeah.
It really became a subject of conversation. Tim Thomas is the goalie of the Boston Bruins. He did not go to the White House when the Boston Bruins won when the Obama administration was still active. I want to say this was probably 2015, 2014. The Bruins won. Tim Thomas was the one guy that said, "I'm not going to the White House," and that got a lot of attention, right? But now it's almost the norm. People are almost expecting teams to not go to the White House, and if they do go to the White House, there's a group of people out there shaming these players because they elected to go to the White House to visit a quote-unquote racist president. Now, that's not my words by any means. Not my words by any means. But there's so much criticism now in either direction to where there is no winner. There is no winner in this debate, but I will say I think the Team USA, their hand is now forced to where they are going to support their teammate. I do not see them at all, win or lose, accepting the invitation to go to the White House.
No, absolutely not. They'll probably have a victory celebration party somewhere else, and maybe L.A. or Miami or somewhere like that, somewhere warm. But yeah, this is a situation to where, look, if an athlete comes out, I think it's a different thing if the athlete comes out and says, "Look, I've been on the grind for the past 8, 9, 10 months throughout the season, training to get ready for the season. I appreciate the invite to the White House, but I'm sorry, I'm going with my entire family. We're going to the Bahamas for about 3 weeks." That's different, other than taking a political stance, because they're choosing to go on vacation over that. I think when it becomes a political issue, that's when people start getting outraged. And unfortunately, because she is a member of the LGBTQ community, this is always going to be a political issue, even if it's not. Somebody's going to rope it into being one.
I just disliked the distraction. It was an unnecessary distraction. If I'm even the head coach, I could be looking at Megan and saying, "I support you completely.
Yeah.
I support you. I support you and your views. You're my teammate. You're like my sister. I'm with you. But I really wish this didn't have to become a distraction, right? Let's focus on the game." So now, with that being said, given that they were a topic of conversation in a negative or fairly positive view, depending on how you look at it, great game by Megan Rapinoe to be able to respond and score 2 goals, score the 2 goals that Team USA had against France. Great game on her part. I'm happy that she was able to respond and still have a big game and not let the distraction interfere with the game itself. So I am very impressed, and I'm happy to see that can go off to the side and she can stay focused on the game and still play her heart out for Team USA. So I will give my praise for that.
I'm just going to say this and throw this out there, and we can leave this Team USA situation on this. If they make a movie about this team and this situation and what this team is doing, Zac Efron better play her. Because have you seen a picture of those two side by side?
He said he's dyeing his hair purple.
I mean, they have the exact same hairdo, so go ahead.
He said he's dyeing his hair purple.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Zac Efron playing her, though?
That would be, hey, have you seen him play Ted Bundy? He's got the stretch.
Oh, well, yeah.
It's not High School Musical anymore.
I've seen him play a dude. I've seen him play. Yeah, but that Ted Bundy movie is really good. Yeah, I'll give him that.
Netflix, check it out.
But now looking forward to England. That's going to be on Tuesday at 2:00. Hey, you know what? This Team USA, they've been looking a little slow ever since they've gotten to the knockout round, but that's expected. They're going to face off against better teams. I fully expect another victory against England. I do, but we'll give our final predictions at the end of the game, and maybe I'll be able to break it down just a little bit more. But Team USA is going to come out firing. I think that this win against France was a good win. I do not believe that there's any doubt like there was when they defeated Spain, where they should have really manhandled, or maybe woman-handled Spain, putting in that.
Handled, Davis.
They should have handled Spain better, but I think that this was a good victory against France. Moving forward against England, they have some good solid momentum, and I hope moving forward that the whole Trump-Rapinoe talk, that should be well behind us. I think the only way it's going to keep going is if Trump continues to tweet. Which he will.
He probably will, yeah. Unless another topic comes up. But speaking of another topic, I want to say congratulations to Vanderbilt. We have not mentioned them yet, winning the College World Series 8-2. They came back, got embarrassed a little bit in Game 1 early in the week on Monday night, but came back Tuesday and Wednesday and were able to seal it off. And I think it was a genius move to save Kumar Rocker for Game 2.
It was a great move. It was a great move because if you put Kumar Rocker in Game 2, it goes one of two ways, right? It's either you have him pitching to seal the College World Series, or you have him pitching to save you and force a Game 3.
Yeah.
It ended up being the latter. Great game on his part. 11 strikeouts. Pitched, 6 innings total? Maybe 6 1/3. I think he pitched 6 1/3. Pulled in the 7th inning with 1 out. A fantastic game. Him pitching Game 2 was actually no surprise for me. I completely saw that coming. I had Michigan winning, though. Once the finals came about, I wasn't here last week, so I wasn't here to be able. By the way, my cat's okay,
good.
But I wasn't able to talk about my feelings about this series leading up to it. So I had Michigan winning, and I was really close. Game 2 was a good game. They kept it fairly close, but then they got a couple runs. It was 4-0 by the time Kumar Rocker was out of there. They held it together, and Vandy won their second national title, and it was a great 2-game stretch for them to close it out.
Yeah, because I really think it would have been a waste for both teams if they actually went A's versus A's with putting Tommy Henry up in Game 1. If Vanderbilt went in with Kumar Rocker in Game 1 as well, it would have hurt one team very much because they wouldn't have had their ace in one of the second games. And so I think it was smart by Vanderbilt to put him in Game 2. And that's what they did against Duke, and then look at bear in their favor, of course. And they came in with Mason Hickman. Mason Hickman, he had a rough start, just got battered around by the first 3 batters, and he shut him down, came back with 10 straight strikes, struck him out in the first inning. And then Vanderbilt just started lighting up the pitching off of Michigan. Kaufman, he had 3 innings pitched, didn't do so well, and then Criswell, he pitched the rest of the game 5 innings, coming in relief, and he actually did a pretty decent job, though.
Yeah, I think something that's being missed in all this is everybody's kind of looking at Kumar Rocker, they're looking at Vandy, they're looking at the way the Commodores played throughout the entire year. And look, they were one of the, if not, well, obviously they are now the best team in college baseball, winning the national title. But I think you've got to tip your cap and say kudos to Michigan, because this is a team that was the Final Four to get into the tournament altogether. They played their way through the regionals, the super regionals, and made it all the way to the final series, the World Series there in Omaha. And they really put it together late in the year and were able to pull things together. And so we're all going to be talking about Vandy because they won it, and rightfully so, but I think we got to tip our cap to Michigan as well for getting there.
And also, shout out to the Kerr family, because what a great story they have. Second baseman Jimmy Kerr, his dad, the last time Michigan made it to the World Series, his dad was on that team. And some great baseball players on the team. Barry Larkin, a Hall of Famer in baseball, played for the Reds, was part of that Big Red Machine group right there. And also his grandfather also went to the College World Series playing for Michigan.
And won.
Yeah,
and won. There's a really cool story where I don't know if it was in the finals, but it was in the College World Series. His grandfather pitched a doubleheader because this was back when pitchers pitched. There was no relievers; they just pitched. That's why there was also a good amount of arm injuries that were undiscovered at the time. But he pitched a doubleheader through over 300 pitches. I think pitched a total of 19 innings. One of the games went to extras. 313 pitches, I think, was the total. And now, if you go to a Wahoo's game, you're not really going to find a pitcher that pitches more than 85 pitches because they want to save them. They want to keep their arms healthy for the most part. So it's impressive just how much this game really has changed from back in the 60s to today. But also, the Kerr family is still a very impressive family.
Yes, very impressive. You won't find families like that.
Some
anymore.
deep Michigan lineage.
Yeah, and all very historic. 3 generations going to the College World Series. That's pretty incredible.
That really is. That is an amazing story, and it might be a story we hear a little later with our top stories of the week. You never know. But we got to take a quick timeout, so we'll do that. We'll come back with more Sports Call with Jordan and Davis right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5. We're coming back right after this.
Now there's more fun for everyone at IP. The beautiful Bayview Cafe is here, open 24 hours, 7 days a week. You can dine anytime and meet up with friends for wine tasting at 850 Wine and Spirits. Plus, if you love sports, IP Sportsbook is where the action is, and now taking wagers. Better up.
IP Casino Resort and Spa is fun for everyone. Hi, I'm Matt Kenseth. You don't have to be a race car driver to know that life can be full of drama. Some of it you can't control, like mechanical issues, high winds, and rain delays. But there's some drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org.
You just need to take that first step and find free classes near you, and leave the drama for the racetrack.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ed Council.
Hey, Chad here from the Sports Drive. Great week in sports. Mike Martin will get another shot, one final chance at the College World Series after Florida State sweeping LSU in the box. NHL Stanley Cup is going to Game 7. Raptors, Warriors, NBA Finals, and the whole continent of Canada has stopped what they're doing. And the Wahoos struggling after a great start. U.S. Open week in golf, and some idiot shot my favorite player, Big Papi, in a bar in the Dominican Republic. Yeah. Catch the Sports Drive 5 to 7 Monday through Friday right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
It's almost time for Sertoma's 4th of July celebration in downtown Pensacola. Watch Old Seville Square come alive this 4th of July with free activities starting at 11 a.m., including a children's area with inflatables, rock climbing wall, pony rides, face painting, live entertainment, food, and much more. Don't forget the amazing fireworks show over Pensacola Bay at 9. Sponsored by Skanska with a perfectly synchronized music broadcast on Cat Country 98.7. Presented by the Law Office of J.J. Talbot. For more info, visit PensacolaFireworks.com.
ESPN Radio is taking over ESPN News. You can now watch your favorite radio shows all in one place. From Golic and Wingo
oh, yeah.
to the Dan Levitard Show with Stugotz.
All right, I'm available every day, thanks.
To the Stephen A. Smith Show.
I just don't understand this guy.
To the Will Kane Show.
It's my job to tell the truth.
From morning to night, the best of ESPN Radio is now available on ESPN News.
Hear ye, hear ye. I bringeth thee a message from... a message from the king and his new trumpeter, Stephen. The king wishes me to convey his favor to thine team and thine tailgate. Not yet. He invites thee to let the Bud Light flow forth. And he also wishes me to tell thee that he toasts thee. Waiteth until the end, Stephen! With game day's favorite light lager and the slogan of his kingdom... Oh, dilly dilly.
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
HD radio at HD2 98.7 WYCT and streaming on our websites, ESPNpensacola.com. Also on Facebook at Facebook.com/ESPNpensacola945 and on YouTube as well. Just do a YouTube search for ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and you should see top little result right there when you do the search is a video. It'll be a picture of us sitting here in the studio and it will say live in the top right hand corner. So you just click on that and you'll be able to watch us right there on YouTube. If you want to be a part of the show, you can call into 972-1945. Again, it's 972-1945. Monday is July 1st. That means 4th of July is Thursday. And right after that, it is Blue Angel weekend, but it's also the All-Star game for Major League Baseball. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And we do now know our rosters for the All-Star game and some interesting things here to take note on. And there's one guy missing from the National League team that I think when we mentioned it during the commercial break, we all just kind of started nodding our head going, yeah, that seems about right, because Bryce Harper, not on the NL team.
Yeah, that didn't really need to happen. Will he be named an All-Star? I'm sure. It wouldn't surprise me. Bryce Harper, he needs to hit more for average, man. He's hitting home runs. He is, but you also need to hit for average. It's not helping your cause when you're hitting, 18 home runs in the first half, but then next thing you know, you're striking out 50 more times. So that's not going to help you whatsoever. You need to get on base a lot more often. You can't just always hit bombs. Yes, of course, that's great, and if you hit timely bombs, that's great for your team. But not only Bryce Harper, but the Phillies are struggling as a team themselves as well. So this doesn't surprise me. It won't surprise me though if he is still named to the team. He is Bryce Harper.
Yeah, it's one of those names that you got to, it's kind of almost like when Chipper Jones was playing, and towards the end of his career, he may not have been having the greatest season, but it was still Chipper Jones. He was going to make the NL All-Star team.
Same with Derek Jeter. He was a starter
as well, yeah.
Although he
yeah.
had a decent game. He did have a decent game. He had a double down the line, and he almost, I remember this was in Minnesota, the ball was hit, first batter of the game, he makes a diving play, tries to throw Andrew McCutchen out at first, and Andrew McCutchen beats it out by a millihair.
But you know what Billy Beane would say for Moneyball? He said, but can he get on base? That's the main thing.
That was the big thing.
That's the main thing of Bryce Harper. I don't think Billy Beane would try and go after Bryce Harper. One, because they didn't have that type of money with the Athletics, and two, he can't get on base.
No, he can't. It's Bryce Harper and Chris Davis. They're not having a great season.
So the game is happening, and the Home Run Derby, by the way, is on the 8th. The actual game itself is going to be on July 9th. So you're right between 4th of July and Blue Angels.
Yep.
We're going to have a busy couple of weeks coming up here. I've already had a busy couple of weeks, but we're about to definitely have some more busy weeks ahead of us. So for the AL team, you have Gary Sanchez. No really surprise. I think we all said that he was going to be the starter for the All-Star team.
Yeah.
Carlos Santana did surprise me. I was a little surprised, but he is a member of the Cleveland Indians. Where is the All-Star game being played?
Cleveland.
In Cleveland.
Yeah.
So it is important to keep that in mind. DJ LeMahieu, I think we were kind of split on this, but a few of us mentioned DJ LeMahieu was going to be going to the All-Star game as a starter. Jorge Polanco was a good pick.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's batting 320s, 17 home runs. He's a really good batter. This guy's had a really, really good year. Now, Alex Bregman, I wasn't surprised by this. There were 3 Houston players that were named starters, along with George Springer, who's been away on injury. He missed a total of 20-something games, and yet he still has about 18 home runs on the year, batting in the 300s. This guy, if he didn't get hurt, would be doing a lot more. And then shout out to Michael Brantley. I do want to give props to Michael Brantley. This guy has been in the league for a long time. He's battled injuries. He used to be a member of the Cleveland Indians.
Yep.
So I think that this is kind of a nice homecoming for him. I'm happy that he was named a starter. A guy that's battled injuries and has worked his way back to now being a starter in the All-Star game. Congratulations. But then, of course, no surprise, Mike Trout being the leading vote getter, and I'll continue to say one of the best baseball players of our generation right now, probably the best at the moment. And then a surprise, Hunter Pence, the DH in this game. I was surprised by that nod. So I would have probably replaced him if Austin Meadows of the Rays wasn't slumping right now. Because I'd say 2 weeks ago when we were going through our starters list, he was batting 350.
Yeah.
He's now barely batting 300. He has really been struggling at the plate lately. If he hadn't been struggling, he would probably be starting in the DH spot. I still think he could be good for an all-star nod, just because the Rays need a player to represent them. And the Rays, sadly, are struggling as of late, not only record-wise, but struggling to stay in St. Petersburg. We'll get into that here in just a moment. But if Austin Meadows wasn't struggling at the plate, I'm sure he'd be starting. But Hunter Pence, a guy who's another veteran in the league, getting a chance to start as a designated hitter.
Yeah, I think that's good for Hunter Pence that he's getting that nod and he's going to be able to make it to the All-Star game this year. But I like the fact that I'm looking at the roster here on Bleacher Report, and they've got the predicted starting pitcher Justin Verlander. The starting pitching matchup, according to Bleacher Report, is a heck of a matchup. You've got Justin Verlander with the Astros, and then Hyunjin Ryu with the Dodgers as your possible starting pitching matchup.
Ryu, either way.
Ryu, yeah.
This guy's he's a guy who's really having a solid year. He's 10-1 now. Or no, he lost yesterday. He got shelled yesterday. Actually, I think he's 9-2 on the year, but having a fantastic season. I would want to also give respect to Giolito of the Chicago White Sox. His first name is escaping me, but Giolito, the White Sox, first pitcher to reach 10 wins this year. He's going to be in the All-Star game for sure. I may not see him starting as a pitcher. He may come in the second or third inning. This guy's having a fantastic year.
Yeah, and I think if you take a look at the National League team as well, for you got Wilson Contreras right there from the Cubs as the catcher. Freddie Freeman, no surprise there at first base from the Atlanta Braves. I think that was kind of a given there. You've also got Ketel Marte from the Arizona Diamondbacks, Javier Baez from the Cubs. Nolan Arenado from the Rockies there at third base. Christian Yelich, no doy there. He's the top National League vote getter. He's right there. If the National League had an equivalent to Mike Trout, it would probably be Christian Yelich in the outfield for the Brewers. And then, of course, you've got Acuna Jr. from the Braves and Bellinger as well from the Dodgers. And Dave Roberts, the manager of the Dodgers, will obviously, because they were in the World Series a year ago.
The player I tip my cap to is Ketel Marte.
Yeah.
This guy has been in the league for 4 years now. First arrived in 2015. His career total for home runs today is 42 home runs.
Whew,
40. He has 42 career home runs in his 4 seasons in the MLB.
Yeah.
Guess how many home runs he's hit this year? 20.
Wow.
He has hit 20 home runs. So, 1, I see a drug test coming his way.
Yeah.
But 2, this is a very, very, very impressive stat change.
Wait,
A
who is
very
it again?
impressive improvement.
Who is it again?
Ketel Marte. He is.
Yeah.
He is a center fielder for the Diamondbacks. I believe they have him playing in the infield, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go back to my list.
The second base.
They have
At second
him.
base.
They have him starting second base. He's a center fielder, but they have him starting second base for the National League team. But what an incredible difference from one season to another. Also batting .315. He is easily the most improved baseball player leading into this year. I'd love to see this kind of change. You always love seeing newbies coming into these kinds of all-star games. Who's new? Who's the one that has had the biggest step of improvement? Ketel Marte has been this guy. So again, I see a drug test coming his way. I really hope if you pass the drug test, you fail it, right? That's kind of how it works.
Pretty much, yeah.
I hope it comes back negative. Let's put it that way. I hope it comes back negative. He passes it in the best way possible. Like a positive test with a failure of a result.
Can we talk about wonder what the feeling of the National League second basemen are right now? Because I know the outfielders of the National League, Cody Bellinger, Christian Yelich, and Ronald Acuna Jr. Those are some tough outfielders to go over. So of course you want to have him somewhere in the lineup because he's had an outstanding year. But how would you feel if you were a second baseman right now in the National League and you got an outfielder playing your position in the All-Star game? Exactly.
Wait,
I'll leave it at that.
We're getting a couple comments in our news, almost on News Radio. I also work for News Radio, but in our ESPN Pensacola Facebook page, we are streaming live.
Yes.
You can always watch live, and we're getting a couple of comments. One of those being Davis. How about them Gators? 7 commits this month. So go Gators.
Yeah.
They've been definitely hitting up that recruting trail.
Football and
basketball.
doing a great job,
Blackshire Jr., the top transfer from Virginia Tech, committing to the Gators basketball team. We also want to share all of our comments just because we want to be able to share both sides of the conversation. And listener John comments about our conversation involving President Trump and Team USA and kind of the friction going between there.
Yeah.
And they say that Trump is a blatant racist, and sports are a vehicle that has allowed us to come together more successfully than any other means. It's not unpatriotic to refuse an invitation from him. It's freedom of speech to call out his shortcomings. Agreeing with us in some in the argument that sports are a vehicle for us to come together, and it's not unpatriotic to receive an invitation. I'm not going to go as far as to say Trump is a blatant racist.
Yeah,
I don't believe so. I just believe that there are differences of opinions, and for one side, you are not going to agree with anything President Trump says. He could do the right thing, but you may find something wrong with that. That's one thing I've learned with our politics today is there's one side that is so anti-Trump, there's nothing you are going to say to believe in President Trump. So that's all I'm going to say with that.
There's so many things that are like that, though, that are not just politics. I mean, you look at what's going on in California right now with paying players for their likeness or their name or anything like that, and that situation that's going on with college athletics and between the state of California and the NCAA. There are so many different things that could be situations there to where it could work. But at the same time, there's always somebody that's going to go, well, no, that can't work because of this. So anytime somebody does something, there's always going to be somebody that comes behind and says, well, you were wrong because you did it this way, or you're wrong because you said it that way. So that's just always going to be the case.
I really think that there's going to be a 30 for 30 made. ESPN is going to make a 30 for 30 call, just politics in sports. Just
I'm surprised they haven't already.
Me too, but I think they're waiting for the full thing just to finish because there's so much still happening.
Yeah.
There's so much happening, and we'll have a lot more, obviously, coming up in the near future. Team USA, of course, playing on Tuesday.
Yes.
Oh, man. We'll save our predictions for later. We don't even have to give our predictions for the AL-NL All-Star Game because that's not going to be happening until the 9th. But Pete Alonso and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. both are going to be in the Home Run Derby. I called both of them, by the way.
You did.
This is going to be a really fun Home Run Derby.
It's going to be a really fun Home Run Derby, and call me a homer, but I'm going with Pete Alonso, the former Gator.
Wait, what are
I'm gonna continue to mull on this one because I want to see who else joins in on the competition before I give my
full thing. Is the whole field finished?
No, not yet. I want to see
how many players are there?
It's usually 8.
Yeah, no, how many players have committed to playing?
I only know of 2 at the moment: Vladdy Jr. and Pete Alonso.
Let's see.
2 of the hardest hitting rookies. I tell you what, how about we mull over it?
Yeah, let's take
during
a quick timeout. Yeah, we'll take a quick timeout. We'll be right back with this on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
To give batters a different look, pitchers throw a changeup.
Your idea of a different look is sunglasses.
That's true. But La Quinta Inns and Suites is really taking the different look thing to a new level.
Definitely a major league makeover, starting with a bolder, brighter lobby full of comfortable spaces to let you settle in.
Or chill out in front of a big flat screen like Wingo would.
Oh, you know it. It's a changing La Quinta look to help you get in the zone and look sharp when you hit that big meeting.
Prepare to win at business with La Quinta Inns and Suites.
Book now at LQ.com.
When working at a growing business, you wear many hats. The new business hat, the buying toner for the copy machine hat, the sifting through tons of resumes hat. You can throw away that last hat thanks to Indeed.com. When posting your job, Indeed lets you add screener questions that give you a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates. So go ahead, dust off that extra long lunch hat. Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
Our Pensacola Wahoos are back for another season, and with the new season comes some fresh and new changes. Our Wahoos are now the new AA affiliate of the Minnesota Twins, and they have a new broadcast home here in Pensacola, right here at your hometown station for hometown sports, ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Catch all the Wahoos action from home and away with Chris Garagiola. Wahoos baseball presented by Denny's on the new official flagship station for the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and ESPNpensacola.com.
I'm little teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
It is the veteran, not the preacher, who has given us the freedom of religion.
It's the veteran, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote.
It is the veteran, not the poet, who has given us the freedom of speech.
The veteran, not the campus organizer, who has given us the freedom to assemble.
It is the veteran, not the reporter, who has given us freedom of the press.
It is the veteran, not the lawyer, who has given us the right to a fair trial.
We should all be very proud of our young men and women in the service, no matter where they serve. Thank you.
ESPN Radio is taking over ESPN News. You can now watch your favorite radio shows all in one place. From Golic and Wingo.
Oh, yeah.
To the Dan Levitard Show with Stugotz.
All right, I'm available every day, thanks.
To the Stephen A. Smith Show.
I just don't understand this guy.
To the Will Kane Show.
It's my job to tell the truth.
From morning to night, the best of ESPN Radio is now available on ESPN News.
Pensacola 94.5. Also on your HD radio at HD2 98.7 WYCT. Welcome back into Sports Call with Jordan and Davis. I'm Jordan Glass, joined alongside of me as always, Davis Allen, and of course our producer, the Terminator. He's sitting over there running the board for us, having a lot of fun. And we may be having too much fun in the studio today, but that's okay. It is definitely allowed. Let's talk some NBA basketball because Kevin Durant saying he's only going to be talking to 3 teams, the Clippers, the Warriors, the Knicks, and the Nets. No surprise that one of the teams he's talking to are the Knicks and the Warriors. The Clippers and the Nets, I think they're on the outside looking in right now. I think he's going to re-sign and go back to Golden State, or he's going to go ahead and be a Knick. I think honestly and truthfully, if he decides to leave and go somewhere else, it's the worst move for him. I think the best move, sign a short-year deal with Golden State, maybe a 1 or 2 year contract, maybe a 3-year deal or something like that. You're not going to be playing this year, so rest, rehab, get better from the injury, rest that Achilles, and then come back in the 2021 season and play that season out with Golden State, get you another ring with Steph Curry and all those guys, then leave in free agency and go somewhere else. Because here's the thing, if he's coming off of a season where he's playing a full season healthy, he's going to get a bigger deal, a better deal than if he's got a torn Achilles right now. Because right now, we don't even know if we're going to get the same Kevin Durant when he comes back. And a team is not going to shell out big bucks for that risk. So play with Golden State another couple of seasons. Rest this year, play with Golden State a year, then go into free agency. That way they can see, okay, there's no drop-off in his game. We can pay him a max deal.
Yeah, because he can – I don't know if he could hurt himself, but, I think going with the Warriors is a safe bet because they know what you can do, and they're definitely fine with – you growing and developing and getting back to where you were. They're fine with sitting with you with that because they've always been there for you. They know what you're capable of, so they're going to let you process and heal up. But if you go to another team, it might be more of a rush situation, or if you're
we need, especially if it's the Knicks, because they're going to go because right now for the Knicks, their big person on their team is a rookie, RJ Barrett.
Even the Clippers as well. I mean, because they're not having the best seasons either. I mean, so where the Warriors, he can just continue to heal and just rehab and get better, while other teams, it's more of a can you hurry up type of thing.
And especially for the Clippers, if Kawhi happens to go and join LeBron and AD as a Laker, that is definitely going to make the Clippers start picking up the pace and wanting to be a little bit more urgent as well.
And the Clippers are a winning team.
They are.
They were a good team for who they had last year. Doc Rivers is continuing to do some good things over with the Clippers, so they want to get that big name. And KD and Kawhi both are those are the teams that they're looking at. Is that team that they both are looking at. Now the Brooklyn Nets, they are certainly going after Kawhi, or not Kawhi, Kyrie Irving. The Brooklyn Nets are going after Kyrie Irving, and right now it's looking likely he could go there. Yeah. So there's that push that Kevin Durant would go to the Nets. Now Stephen A. Smith, who is a diehard Knicks fan, might I add, has said, just based on his sources, that there's no way he would go to Brooklyn, especially if Kyrie goes there. Not saying that there's beef between them, but he would be more likely to still go to the New York Knicks. Now, throw in the Clippers. The Clippers are emerging as a favorite, and of course you do want to keep Golden State in mind. He is going to talk to Golden State despite opting out of a $31.5 million option. He wants more money. He's not playing, period, next year. He's going to be recovering, going to be rehabbing. But all next season long, he's going to be sitting on what we would assume would be a new contract. But I'm not surprised he opted out. I'm not at all surprised that he had opted out. He's not playing at all next year anyways. So he could weigh his options. I'm not even comfortable with giving my prediction yet on where I think he's going to go. I think we'll have to save that to the end of the show.
Okay.
We may have to save it till the end of the show, at least for me, because I do not know at the time who he's actually going to go with. If I could eliminate some teams, I don't think he's going back to the Warriors.
No, I don't think it's a smart move.
I don't think he's going back. I don't think he's going back at all.
I don't think he does either.
I think it's a smart move for him, and I think he should, because he said his 3 teams that he gave that he's definitely down to visit is the Warriors, the Knicks, and the Clippers, and somebody else. I will find that.
I think the Clippers and the Knicks are the 2 teams he's seriously considering at the moment. I do not think he's going to be going back to Golden State. It would shock me if so. Unless there's some new recent development that comes out that persuades me the other direction, it would shock me.
The Nets.
The Brooklyn Nets.
He's playing to engage with the Warriors, Knicks, Nets, and Clippers.
Did I say them? I said all of them.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Look, here's the thing with the Warriors. If Draymond Green comes out and goes, bro, we won without you, we won without you, we can win with you, we don't really need you here. And that's the situation that apparently Draymond Green said to him back when he and KD had that little argument on the court. The NBA Finals proved that they needed him. So if I'm KD, I'm going to go, maybe you guys actually did need me, but guess what? You're not going to have me now, later. So that's probably a reason why if he doesn't go back to the Warriors, that's going to play a part in it.
We don't need you, Holmes. You go do you.
Well, okay, and then you have Kawhi. So get this, right? Kawhi Leonard is going to be meeting with the Lakers. He has requested Magic Johnson to be in on this meeting. The same Magic Johnson, who, by the way, is not really getting along well, especially with GM Rob Pelinka. He considers Jeannie Buss, the owner of the team, a quote-unquote sister of his.
But that's the thing, though, is Kawhi said he doesn't want Rob as part of the meeting. He just wants it to be Jeannie and Magic, and that's all. But the problem with that is Magic can't because of NBA rules now.
Magic it no longer works for the team.
Right.
He will always be an ambassador of the team, but it would be I would consider this blatant tampering, right?
No, that's why Magic can't be.
It's blatant tampering
yeah.
if Magic's in the meeting at this point. It would be pointless for him to even be in the meeting at this point. He's not a guy that... It's like Drake being in a meeting for Toronto with Kawhi. I wouldn't make, even though Drake never played basketball, it wouldn't make any sense whatsoever to have somebody who is now not currently a part of the basketball operations to be in on a meeting like this.
But would we be surprised if he was?
He would be there uninvited.
He would.
He would
show up. He'd be like, "Hey, what's up?
Hey,
Are we having a meeting right now? I didn't know about this.
This started at 11:30. I've got here at 11:15.
Is this chair taken? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess so.
No, he would be there whether he was invited or not.
You know what Drake needs to do is he needs to find allegiance to another college football team, because I don't even count Alabama. I don't count Alabama. He roots for the teams that he roots for. Okay, whoever is good at this moment, Drake roots for them. See, he needs to pick a college team. And Drake needs to go on recruiting trips. Which I don't think that's illegal.
Dan Mullen, step up. I'm not fine with Kodak Black.
Kodak Black just got out of jail again.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we don't need him in Florida.
You want to get a guy that's notoriously known for cursing the teams he cheers for outside of the Raptors? Like everybody else, whether it's a boxer, think about it. He showed up ringside to that boxer, and he was walked out with him. He was like, his guy's going to win. He goes out there, and it was like a 30-second fight. The guy got knocked out. It wasn't even close. He cheers for Kentucky basketball. Kentucky basketball loses. He cheered for Alabama in the national title game.
What am I doing? Why am I asking for that?
Yeah.
I'm the one who told you. Told you.
Well,
the Drake curse
now,
is a thing.
When he finds his allegiance, Toronto.
Yes.
They have been successful.
Yeah. Wait.
Maybe he can have allegiance to
now,
the Montreal.
Whenever he randomly chooses to support a team, that is when they lose. That is what we have been seeing.
Yep.
He has always been a Toronto supporter. He is from there. I imagine he is a Toronto Blue Jays fan as well. Look, if he declares his allegiance to a team, then the formula could be broken. But it's when he randomly picks a team and supports them, including Conor McGregor, that is when they lose.
That's actually a valid point there, but we need to take a quick timeout. So we're going to do that when we come back. We're going to have some Love It or Hate It coming up on the other side of this break. It's Sports Call with Jordan and Davis right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
If you're hitting 200 at the plate for the Pensacola Blue Wahoos, life isn't that great. But if you're hitting up 200 before the Wahoos games, things can't get much better. 200 South is your Blue Wahoos pre-party destination. Grab an ice-cold draft with the best selection in town at World of Beer. Relax in the most hoppin' spot at Blend Lounge. Or grab a quick bite to eat at Graffiti Pizza or Taco Aguave before the game. 200 South Palafox in downtown Pensacola. Peanuts and Cracker Jacks are all right, but a slice and an ice-cold draft, now that's a home run.
Wings are now on Beef O'Brady's 2 for $20 deal. Wings?
Bigger bang, same buck. Pick a starter plus 2 entrees. Like 10 of Beef's famous wings, still $20. 2 for $20. Worth every penny.
Tower, this is Alpha Squad. Something smells mighty good up here. Who's hungry? Over.
Beef's 2 for $20. Pick a starter and 2 entrees. Like Beef's new chicken tender Parmesan skillet, still just $20.
Hear ye, hear ye. I bringeth thee a message from... a message from the king and his new trumpeter, Stephen. The king wishes me to convey his favor to thine team and thine tailgate. Not yet. He invites thee to let the Bud Light flow forth. And he also wishes me to tell thee that he toasts thee. Waiteth until the end, Stephen! With game day's favorite light lager and the slogan of his kingdom... Oh, dilly dilly!
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
What if people had a battery level icon? Like on your phone? You'd see a lot of us in need of a recharge. Thank goodness there's 5-Hour Energy. Because just one sugar-free, vitamin-packed 5-Hour Energy shot can get you all the way back to 100% fast. And isn't life better at 100%? 5-Hour Energy. Get back to 100%. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com.
Hey there, I'm a glue stick, so I have one job. I glue kid stuff. So sorry for being jealous of Geico, who does a ton more, like give you 24/7 access to thousands of licensed agents. And Geico has been around for over 75 years and has a 97% customer satisfaction rating. While I've just got mediocre adhesive skills, Geico also has an award-winning mobile app. Uh-oh, arts and crafts time. No eating the glue stick, Miss Lydia!
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
ESPN Radio is taking over ESPN News. You can now watch your favorite radio shows all in one place. From Golic and Wingo. Oh, yeah! To the Dan Levitard Show with Stugotz.
All right, I'm available every day, thanks.
To the Stephen A. Smith Show.
I just don't understand this guy.
To the Will Kane Show.
It's my job to tell the truth.
From morning to night, the best of ESPN Radio is now available on ESPN News.
ESPN Pensacola 94.5, also on your HD radio at HD2 98.7 WYCT, and streaming on our website, ESPNpensacola.com. Welcome back into Sports Call with Jordan and Davis. I'm Jordan Glass, joined alongside me as always, Davis Allen and our producer Justin, and we are hanging out here in the ESPN Pensacola studio talking some sports, and it was brought to our attention. We got a little bit of a fight card coming up tonight in the UFC, and it's going to be an interesting matchup.
That's right. Going on at the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We have the heavyweight main event. Francis, and I don't always watch UFC, but I will acknowledge when there's a big fight going on. You know, it's always fun. Sometimes, depending on the group of people I'm with, we'll watch it. But Francis, okay, help me out here if I'm wrong. Ngannou facing off against Junior Dos Santos. Now, Ngannou, 13-3, while Junior Dos Santos is 21-5. Big matchup, two heavyweight bouts. I'm familiar with Dos Santos, not so much Ngannou, but only because I'm familiar with Dos Santos. I favor him in this matchup.
I'm going to be right there with you on that boat. I'm more familiar with Dos Santos, so I'm going to go with him in this bout tonight. It's going to be a good one, though. It is a big matchup, and definitely one of the places you can check it out is Beef O'Brady. So that's a good place to go check it out. They are the new UFC headquarters here in Pensacola, so go out there and enjoy the fight tonight.
Our friends over at Beef O'Brady's always taking good care of us.
Absolutely.
We certainly want to take good care of them.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, it is time now for a little Love It or Hate It here on Sports Call with Jordan and Davis. So we'll go ahead and cue that music up here, and we'll get started.
After we cue down other music.
Yeah, cue down that other music. What's that?
I mean, I kind of like that. We can just pick up the pace.
That felt nice.
All right, let's get into it first. Justin, what is the first Love It or Hate It?
All right, first Love It or Hate It. Katie opts out of $31.5 million option.
He already did.
No, Love It or Hate It is no. So we starting.
Right.
Yep.
All right, the Rays will leave St. Petersburg before 2017.
You know, as much as if there's anything in this world I want to hate, it would be this, but I'm going to have to love it. I am just going to go ahead and make that prediction now that I'm surprised if they're there by 2025. Look, the market's just not supporting the Rays, and it's not necessarily their fault. Money-wise, it's not the highest. You don't have all the higher incomes in the area. As a diehard Rays fan, as somebody who wishes they could be back down there and be able to support the team financially, I just don't think the community is going to be able to stand up and support this team the way that they should be. And I just don't think ownership's going to work with it enough. They are urging they are urging the fans to be open-minded to this. 82 games in St. Pete, 82 games in Montreal. I don't see it happening. I see the Rays leaving.
That's basically them saying have an open mind to this is basically being in a relationship and one person saying to the other person, you're going to accept my rules or we're not going to be in a relationship. And that's not any way to have a type of relationship. Here's the thing with the Rays. The ownership wants to say, oh, well, we're very last, or the only other team that's worse than us as far as attendance is the Miami Marlins, blah, 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 this, and that. Well, you're the ownership of the team. It's your job to create an entertaining environment for people to come and watch a baseball game, and they've done somewhat sort of that. But also at the same time, the whole thing with this is he came out and did a press conference earlier this past week. I believe Tuesday or Wednesday was the press conference. Stu Sternberg got up, and he literally said, we want to do split cities, the sister city plan, where we're here for Tampa for half the season. And don't worry, we'll do spring training. We'll move that from Port Charlotte to Tampa as well. And that way it's longer in Tampa, but then we're going to go to Montreal. Oh, by the way, we want both Montreal and Tampa to build open-air stadiums for us in both places. Tampa already wasn't going to build an open-air stadium. What makes you think, in your retarded sense of thinking with that they are going to be building you an open-air stadium for you to use half the season? That makes no sense. They're not going to build you a 162-game open season, so you want to go, oh, yeah, okay, 82 games. We'll build you an open-air stadium. That's not going to happen.
I do not see that. Getting heated there.
It's stupid.
First off, since I lived there until 2009. I was born and raised in St. Petersburg. I moved away in 2009. Even in 2009 and before, they were trying to get a new stadium. Yeah. They have been trying to get a new stadium. This has been over a 10-year battle with not only St. Pete, but with Tampa. They cannot come down to an agreement. All of a sudden, Ybor City is in Tampa. It's over there by downtown. Near the Channelside area is where they wanted to clear out some old, dilapidated buildings, and they wanted to put a beautiful ballpark there, like a community.
Gorgeous,
Have you been to the Battery in Atlanta? The Battery is an awesome complex. They wanted to do essentially the same exact thing for St. Pete, or Tampa, I should say, but the Tampa Sports Authority couldn't meet the agreement. So here we are back again. Look, Tampa and St. Pete, you are going to force the Rays out of the city if we can't come down to a deal. So you're actually telling me that you are going to build a new stadium only to split time with Montreal? It's not happening.
No, not happening. All right, this one's coming out of left field. We haven't really talked about this, though. I kind of mentioned it in the group chat yesterday. The Olympics. All right, the Olympics will not be the same next year, 2020, without Michael Phelps and Usain Bolt not being Olympians anymore.
I don't know.
I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't think people are still going to watch because it's the Olympics, but it is going to be a drop down in viewership for swimming and track because those two guys aren't there, but they're still going to have good ratings.
Those are the two biggest Olympic athletes. Can you call me wrong? You really can't call me wrong on there. Those were the two biggest athletes. They ran the Olympics.
Yeah, but with great athletes leaving, there are more coming. Right?
Yeah,
they're coming and going. There are more that are going to be coming in. I think we're still going to have reasons to be entertained with the Olympics and also the talent that is going to be provided for us. We can still look back and celebrate the fact that these great athletes did amazing things for their sport, but with great athletes leaving, there are more great athletes coming, and I would like to believe that for this upcoming Olympics.
It definitely won't be as hyped up as the recent Olympics.
Not yet, but we're gonna find a reason to get hyped up.
It won't be hyped up, but as soon as the opening ceremony starts, people are gonna be going click. Oh, look at that! They're gonna be watching.
I love the Olympics. The Olympics is what I live for. I always have. Ever since the Beijing Olympics, Michael Phelps was what got me into the Olympics. And I just look forward to it every 4 years. Sometimes I'll watch the snowboarding in the Winter Olympics, but I don't think it'll be the same. I honestly don't.
You got to get into that, like, power walking on skis in the Winter Olympics. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's really weird.
I've power walked on skis before. It is exhausting. Put it that way.
Imagine, power walking.
And those people do that for like 5 miles too. So it's ridiculous.
I did it for like 100 feet.
Yeah.
You probably do it in the sand.
Probably yeah. All right.
Probably hard.
All right. When all is said and done, KD does not go to the Knicks.
Well, if we're going to say love it or hate it, I love it. I find the Knicks somehow dropping the ball on this one because they've dropped the ball on everything. I love it.
I'm going to love it too. They're the Knicks. The Knicks are going to Knicks. I mean, for the longest time, it was Clemson's going to pull a Clemson. They finally were able to hex that and get away from that, but the Knicks are going to Knicks. He's going to end up with the Clippers or maybe even the Nets.
I love it. He will not. All right, love it or hate it, win or lose, Team USA will not attend the White House.
I love it. I don't see them attending the White House now at this point.
Yeah, I love it. They're going to stick behind their teammate, not go.
Yep, I love it as well. I don't think it's going to happen. All right, this one's one of our favorite ones. The home run derby coming up on July 8th. That's my mom's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. A rookie will win the home run derby. 2 rookies have entered, Vlad Jr. and Peter Alonso from Florida.
I love it. If I can make an early prediction, Vlad Jr.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Vlad and Pete for the finals there, but I'm going to go I like Peter Alonso in this one, so I think Peter Alonso is going to be the guy to pull this off. But we're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, it is hour 2 of Sports Call with Jordan and Davis right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
All sports, all the time. ESPN Pensacola, 94.5 WYCT Pensacola.
From local to national, they've got you covered. Every team, every sport, every game. Sports Call with Jordan and Davis starts now on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
ESPN Pensacola 94.5, also on your HD radio at HD2 98.7 WYCT, and streaming on our website, ESPNpensacola.com. We're also streaming live on Facebook at Facebook.com/ESPN Pensacola 94.5, and on YouTube at, you just do a quick search for ESPN Pensacola 945, and we'll pop up right there, and you can, it'll say live in the top right corner, and you'll be able to watch us on there.
We should really post that, like have a link to that on our Facebook page, because like sometimes when I try and find it, it gets kind of hard to find. Oh, Rick Porcello, that's a great picture right there. But I think
we'll definitely do that.
Yeah,
we
should, because I know sometimes it gets hard for when my family tries to watch. They have a hard time finding it because they find the old.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. I believe one of our office members here actually has the link, and they handle all the YouTube stuff as far as like the linking and all that stuff. So we'll get the link from them, post it on our Facebook page, because I do not actually have admin access to that YouTube page, but we know a couple of people that do. So we'll get that link. We'll post it on our Facebook page as well so people can watch. If you want to be a part of the show, you can do that. 850-972-1945, 850-972-1945. Let's talk a little ESPY Awards, because we talked about how the All-Star game is going to fall right between 4th of July, Blue Angel weekend. Well, the ESPYs are going to fall in that time frame as well.
Yeah, man, I love watching the ESPYs. Even if I have to miss it, I always try to catch the replay. Tracy Morgan, I am approving so far Tracy Morgan being the host of the ESPYs this year. I think that'll be a lot of fun. I think it'll be sure as hell be a lot better than Danica Patrick last year. Oh my goodness, that was just a bomb. Look, I get it. You're not a comedian. You're a very attractive race car driver who's done a lot for especially women driving, like women driving in IndyCar racing or in NASCAR. She has done a lot for women in that sport. She's only a one-time winner, though. She's not exactly somebody who is setting records.
Right.
Let's put it that way. She's not exactly setting records by any means, but she's a popular person.
Definitely
she's popular.
Opening doors.
She opened doors for sure when it came to women in race car driving. That is an absolute fact. However, that doesn't necessarily make her a great host for the ESPY Awards. She bombed. I'm sorry. So let's see if I think Tracy Morgan, a comedian, he'll be able to hold it down for the role of host. Definitely has some shoes to fill. Yeah. I thought Seth Meyers did a great job hosting back-to-back years. Joel McHale wasn't bad. Peyton Manning, I expected Peyton Manning to be hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Cena, I wasn't too shabby.
It wasn't.
Could have been better, a little bit cheesy. Not gonna lie, that's just John Cena. I'm pretty sure.
It is. That's kind of why he hosts the kids' game show on Nickelodeon now, or something like that. So that's where he's at in his career.
Really,
but I mean,
he's one of the. How is The Rock? The Rock hasn't hosted.
The Rock is way too busy to do that. I think. The Rock's filming like 12 movies at the same time. Plus, he's filming Ballers for HBO. So I don't think he could actually take a break to do that.
No, he really couldn't. I mean, like.
It's a great show.
They probably have asked him before. I know LeBron James did it one year. That was with Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
And then Samuel L. Jackson, he hosted back-to-back years as well.
All right, so here's what we're going to do now. Because the ESPYs is coming up, and we all love the ESPYs, and it always happens the day after the All-Star Game, the MLB All-Star Game. So coming up on July 10th is going to be the 2019 ESPYs. Tracy Morgan, like I had mentioned before, is going to be the host. I'm hoping that he does a good job. We shall see. But in the meantime, we figured, why don't we go down the categories, and we're going to talk about the nominations for each category. And we're going to give our prediction right here on Sports Call who is going to win in each category. And if you want to partake, the number is 972-1945 if you want to text in or even call in to give your take on who you think deserves to be in each category. Also, you can comment on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Currently, our Facebook Live has been blowing up with comments. So let's keep that ball rolling. Join in on the show if you want to. But let's go ahead and break it down. Best play, we are given two options to pick from. Best play, Miami Dolphins miracle against the Patriots. I'm hearing myself.
Yep.
Or Texas Tech's TJ Vasher making a one-handed grab. This is their football team, obviously. Now for me, it's got to be Miami's miracle play against the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that one too. Not just because I'm a Dolphins fan, but that was a great play. And who thought that was going to happen? I mean, if you look at ESPN gives the win percentage of how close a team is to getting the victory. At that point in time, it was, I believe it was, if it wasn't 100% for the Patriots, it was 99.9%. And then that play happened. So that was definitely a huge play and a play nobody saw coming.
Honestly, yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry's NFL record 99-yard run versus Jaguars is pretty good, and Kawhi Leonard's drains game winner at the buzzer in Game 7, that was pretty good too.
Just also pure luck of the ball. Luck of the ball bouncing around the rim. I cannot give Kawhi that one. I just can't.
Really?
Pure luck.
But
that ball could have just as easily missed. If he had swooshed it, then maybe.
Here's
pure
why
luck.
I don't want to say the Miami Miracle. One, I am a Patriots fan. Two, why was Gronk on the field? That is not his position.
But how rare? Buzzer beaters are so much more common than what Miami pulled off. How could you say Miami does not deserve to win this category?
A Game 7.
That play never happens.
A Game 7 to send you to the Eastern Conference Finals. A Game 7 buzzer beater. That's something you don't usually see.
No, not always.
Not always, no. But I mean, it does. I agree with Davis. It does happen more frequently than something like what happened in Hard Rock that day.
You know what happens more often? You know what happens more often over a buzzer beater in a certain situation? And I say a certain situation being that not Vanderbilt. They won the College World Series. Villanova, when they won the NCAA tournament off a buzzer beater by Chris Jenkins, they were beaten out by an Aaron Rodgers Hail Mary game-winning touchdown pass for best play of the year. A Hail Mary touchdown pass doesn't happen always, but it sure as heck happens more
Detroit
often.
Too?
Yeah, it was at Detroit, against Detroit. I remember I was at O'Reilly's watching that, and beer bottles were flying that night.
Oh, wow.
That play happens more often than a buzzer beater to win the national championship in college basketball. And you're telling me that one best play, I'm calling malarkey already. I'm hoping that they get it right this year. I think that the Miami Miracle touchdown certainly beats Kawhi's buzzer beater. That's the one time I think that play happens not as often as a buzzer beater, and it wasn't even to win the NBA Finals. It was to send them to the conference finals.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's still playoffs, so let's be honest. And in that game for Miami, what did it do for them? It got a win, and the Patriots still went on to win the Super Bowl. I mean, just because of the stakes.
Look, but also keeping in mind if Kawhi had missed that shot, they go to overtime. It's not over. They go to overtime, and there's still the opportunity for them to win. Look, yes, the Patriots still won the Super Bowl. Big deal. They've won 5 others as well. Miami taking this game from them.
Yeah.
Was it the second time they beat them this season? That season?
No. It was the first time.
It was the first time. So the only time they beat him that season.
The past 4 or 5 years or something like that, the series has been split. When it's in New England, the Patriots win. When it's in Miami, the Dolphins win.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I'm going to give this one to Miami. I have to give this one to Miami. That play just doesn't happen always. It does not always happen. That is such a rare play to occur. I'm giving it to them.
Yeah, that's up there with the band is on the field, so you got to give it to them.
All right, I'll give it to Miami just because I still don't know what Gronk was on the field.
And then also just an honorable mention, Caitlin Ohashi. She is a gymnast for UCLA, scoring a perfect 10 during the floor exercises. It was extremely impressive. Her charisma, her attitude, just her overall composure was so... she really put on a show during the floor exercises. Now, obviously, I did not watch this live, okay? I don't always catch collegiate gymnastics, okay? I'm sorry.
You don't?
But I sure watch it during the Olympics.
My calendar set around it.
We're watching the Olympics, right? Always am watching the gymnastics during the Olympics. It's one of the best things that you could watch.
You know what's probably the most exciting sport to watch in the Olympics? Beach volleyball. When you
yeah.
watched it, like, it's a party. Like, the music there is bumping, man. Like, it's crazy.
Get some land sharks and some coolers.
Yeah, like, it's a party, man. I would love to go to the Olympics just to watch beach volleyball.
All right. Best record-breaking performance. Drew Brees and the Saints. Drew Brees becoming the all-time passing leader. Sabrina, okay, I've only pronounced her name once. Ionescu. She is the women's basketball player from Oregon. She's the all-time triple-doubles leader. Klay Thompson sets the three-point record in a game with 14 of them. That was a great game on his part. Matthew Bowling sets high school record for the 100-meter dash.
That was really good.
Matthew Bowling, a.k.a. White Lightning,
sets that was really
sets
good.
the high school track record for 100 meters. I'm going to have to give it to Drew Brees, though.
Yeah. Do you know how hard it is to throw 70,000 yards inside the NFL?
And doing it on a touchdown pass.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Drew Brees as well.
Let's be real. Like, it's always a cliche. Some touchdown play. Like, Alex Rodriguez and Derek Jeter's 3,000 hit being a home run. Both of them doing that. But I give it to Drew Brees. But Matthew Bowling, that was very impressive. I'm giving him a big honorable mention.
Yeah, give him
that.
runner-up.
That was a very, very impressive job.
I just think also Drew Brees being the likable guy that he is, and the moment happening when it happened, I would have to give it to Drew Brees. The other ones, look, Klay Thompson hitting 14 threes in a game. I think that's breakable. Even though it's hard, all these records are hard. I think that's breakable. I think if of all of these, it's a breakable one. In Drew Brees' all-time passing record, that's probably going to get beaten at some point, I'm sure. But this one, I'm going to have to give it to Brees.
All right. Can we do best breakthrough athlete? Because I would like to do this. You have Saquon Barkley of the New York Giants, Christian Yelich of the Milwaukee Brewers, Trae Young of Atlanta Hawks, and Naomi Osaka. Of the U.S. Open, Australian Open.
Oh yeah, winning. She's from Japan. She's also part American. She won 2 titles. Was ranked number 1. Is not ranked number 1 anymore at the moment, but still a fantastic year that she had. But if Naomi, I could see her being up there, but I'm gonna. Who we got? Christian Yelich.
Yeah, see, I don't know why Trae Young and Saquon Barkley are on there. I don't really.
Trae Young didn't even win Rookie of the Year. Now Saquon had a great year. He had a great year for New York. Not enough to give me breakthrough athlete, but also when he was drafted number 2 overall, we kind of saw this coming.
Yeah, but
right.
Yeah.
But where's Luka Doncic? Like
Doncic.
Yeah, like where's he? Like Trae Young shouldn't be on here. I think. He should.
Yeah, I disagree with Trae Young being on there as well. Doncic was a great athlete. Well, Trae Young also had some really good breakout performances.
Yeah, but I still don't think Saquon Barkley is considered a breakthrough athlete because Christian Yelich, when he was in his first couple of years, he was known like Saquon Barkley, but he didn't break through to this most recent year. I think Christian Yelich is the.
I think it'll go to Naomi Osaka. This is a tennis player who won the U.S. Open, virtually an unknown, just destroying it. Then wins the Australian Open. She lost in the French Open early. I'm going to give it to Naomi Osaka on this one.
And that's one of the good things about the ESPYs is I think a lot of people looking at this that are casual sports fans are going to recognize the name Christian Yelich and they're going to go, oh, give it to him. But I think with the ESPYs, they really do a good job of picking the winners sometimes, not all the awards. So I think Naomi gets it as well.
Best game.
This was a tough one.
Texas A&M defeating LSU 74-72 in a 7 overtime thriller. The Los Angeles Rams defeating the Kansas City Chiefs 54-51 on Monday Night Football. That was an awesome game. Or women's basketball, Notre Dame defeating UConn 81-76 in the Final Four. That was also a really good game.
Can I give my pick first?
Go ahead.
Go right ahead.
Here's the reason why I think this is my pick. The LSU versus Texas A&M game. It was way too long. There was just too much back and forth.
Yeah.
The Rams versus the Chiefs, that was just an exciting game overall. You could not stop watching from beginning to end. It was exciting. It kept you in the game. You don't usually see that in the NFL. And that's why I think they should win best game over the LSU versus Texas A&M, because I just do not it was just everyone was asleep by the time that game was over. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that was the problem with that game was we hit the 7th overtime and people were going, "Are you kidding me? This game is still going."
Exciting enough. The numbers were, but it wasn't.
Plus, they had that bad penalty situation that kind of led to that situation.
There was a bad penalty
in
involved.
The Chiefs-Rams game, it had everything. It had defensive touchdowns. It had.
But with bad
everything.
Penalties comes with every good game came with some kind of drama. I have Texas A&M LSU because this was an insane game. This was a back-and-forth game. It did go as long as it did. And, of course, there was that healthy dose of drama. That's what every good game requires.
Yeah, but you think that was better than the Rams and Chiefs game? Can you tell me why? Can you tell me why?
Can I tell you why? Simple, really, 7 overtimes is hard to come by. You will not find that in the NFL unless you're in the playoffs. Rams-Chiefs, yes, great game, excellent game. I'm really not trying to discount anybody. I just do believe that there was more thrills, more drama, more pandemonium involved in Texas A&M LSU. Come on, going back and forth.
There was more,
back and forth. There's so many touchdowns constantly, either getting 2-point conversions or both teams not getting 2-point conversions the further you go into overtime. A perfect back and forth game. How could you say a game that's going way too long
there was
is
way
not
more
good enough to be considered a best game?
I don't like you because there was way more thrills in this game. When do you ever see 50 points being scored by each team in the NFL?
When do you ever see 70-plus points by both teams?
That game has 70-plus.
Okay, but this is the NFL. This is college. That's crap. You see 60, 70 points scored each week.
Off the chart, guys. Here's the real answer. All right, we all know it's the Final Four game between Notre Dame and UConn. That was an incredible game. 26 lead changes. All 3 games were fun to watch for a certain amount of time. All 3 games were incredible. I think the length of the LSU-Texas A&M game is why I can't go with that one. With the LA Rams-Kansas City Chiefs game, those were the top 2 offensive teams inside the NFL. People expected a game like that. That's what we expect. That wasn't going to be a 13-10 ball game. We thought that was going to be a 54-51 type shootout, so we got what we expected from that game. This Notre Dame-UConn game, Notre Dame being able to knock off UConn, 26 lead changes in that game. It was an entertaining game to watch.
I see that actually coming in second place. I really do.
I could, yeah.
I see that coming in second place with Texas A&M LSU over all of them. Okay, real quick before we go to break, because we do have to go to break.
Yeah.
Best upset. Old Dominion defeating number 13, Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech actually went on to still have a pretty decent year. Naomi Osaka defeating Serena Williams in the U.S. Open. The Columbus Blue Jackets sweeping the Tampa Bay Lightning. Also keeping in mind the Tampa Bay Lightning, the number 1 seeded team, had just set an NHL record for best regular season record. Plus, you had Nikita Kucherov winning MVP and Andrei Vasilevsky, their goalie, winning Goalie of the Year. So keeping this in mind, and then the Blue Jackets sweeping the Lightning to the embarrassment of the Lightning fans, and myself included. And then also Andy Ruiz Jr. defeating the heavyweight champ Anthony Joshua in boxing. That was a giant upset.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm going to have to say the Blue Jackets sweeping the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Blue Jackets as well. You have a team that is the best team in the NHL the entire year, and they just come up short big time in the Stanley Cup playoffs there and in that first round. But I think if you look at the Old Dominion one for college football, that one, was it really that much of an upset? Because Virginia Tech turned out to kind of be one of those teams that. What was their final record on the year for Virginia Tech?
Like 6-6.
Yeah. Okay. So was it? I mean, if Virginia Tech would have turned around and that had been like one of their only losses out of 2 losses or something like that, then I could understand that being a major upset. But if they were a team that was 6-6, 5-7, something along those lines on last year, was it really that big of an upset? Because the team turned out to be mediocre. They were 6-7 last year, so they lost their bowl game.
Oh yeah, they lost their bowl game.
Okay, so
but regular season, it was.
They were, they were a 500 team. So was it really that big of an upset? Because turns out that the team wasn't actually as good as they thought they were.
You know what? I'm gonna have to go with the Columbus Blue Jackets over the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Although, Andy Ruiz Jr. defeating Anthony Joshua could be a close second. There's an argument for Naomi Osaka as well.
There's a huge argument for that one. I think that will be second.
They're great categories this year.
Some good categories, close. And we'll see how this all plays out. Again, this is all coming up the day after the MLB All-Star Game. It's the day where we literally have no sports.
Yeah.
We really have no sports, and that's why the ESPYs is on this day, July 10th.
All right, we're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be back with more Sports Call right after this on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
There are kids in this country who didn't have a parent at their baseball games or recitals because their parents were serving in faraway places. But now they're coming home, and Wounded Warrior Project assists them through the Warriors to Work program.
My mom used to be a tank programmer. Now she works with computers. I'm really glad she's home because I can't eat my dad's marshmallow macaroni anymore.
To support the Warriors to Work program, contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
Pensacola Beach isn't just a sun-soaked white sand paradise. It's also the best dance floor in 50 states. Every Tuesday night, the stage near the Beach Mall comes alive with great music you know and love. Bands on the Beach are free shows every Tuesday through October, and they're brought to you by the Santa Rosa Island Authority. This Tuesday, it's Johnny Earthquake and the Moondogs, the South's best-known and in-demand show band, high-energy rock, R&B, swing, funk, soul, zydeco, and everything. You'll love it. Join us for live music every Tuesday night at 7 for Bands on the Beach.
Pensacola is loaded with famous athletes, and when it comes to seeing a chiropractor for their sports injuries, there is one team they trust, Doctors Edwin Roberts. A family tradition for 3 generations, Doctors Edwin Roberts Chiropractic, next to Legendary Fitness on Mobile Highway, has helped champion athletes like Emmett Smith and Trent Richardson. Doctors Roberts specialize in relieving auto accident pain to physicals for the student athlete. The best treatment for sports injuries is prevention. Call 912-4155 for a free consultation and change your life forever. Pensacola is loaded with famous athletes, and when it comes to seeing a chiropractor for their sports injuries, there is one team they trust, Doctors Edwin Roberts. A family tradition for 3 generations, Doctors Edwin Roberts Chiropractic, next to Legendary Fitness on Mobile Highway, has helped champion athletes like Emmett Smith and Trent Richardson. Doctors Roberts specialize in relieving auto accident pain to physicals for the student athlete. The best treatment for sports injuries is prevention. Call 912-4155 for a free consultation and change your life forever.
When working at a growing business, you wear many hats. The new business hat, the buying toner for the copy machine hat, the sifting through tons of resumes hat. You can throw away that last hat thanks to Indeed.com. When posting your job, Indeed lets you add screener questions that give you a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates. So go ahead, dust off that extra long lunch hat. Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
ESPN Pensacola 94.5, also on your HD radio at HD2 98.7 WICT, and streaming on our website, ESPNpensacola.com. Hey, welcome back into Sports Call with Jordan and Davis. If you want to be a part of the show, 850-972-1945. Again, it's 850-972-1945. You can text or call to that number. We do want to give a quick salute here because the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees are currently playing over in London. Yeah, that's right. They're playing in London right now. It's the London Series 2019. Top of the first inning, Yankees have 1 out, a runner at second. They're already up 3-0, and yeah, great crowd out there. I mean, it was phenomenal for a game out there that is predominantly an American game. It does have some great fan base and followingship in Japan. For it to be going to London, it's a great crowd.
Yeah, and you picked the right team sending these 2 teams out there to get that attention.
Yeah.
We're not surprised. Didi Gregorius, who played for the Wahoos, is actually on second right now, 1 out in the top of the first.
And with that, they're not planning on opening their season in Asia anymore, at least not right now.
Yeah.
Last year they opened the season in Japan, which resulted in being Ichiro Suzuki's final game. You know, after that last game that he played in the opening series of the season, he called it quits. And how fitting was it that they did that? So I'm happy that they did it that way. But now they want to shift their focus onto Europe because in Asia, baseball's already big. In Japan, Chinese Taipei, Guam, out there, even in the Asian Pacific, baseball is already a very big sport. They now want to shift their focus to where baseball really isn't that big of a sport, and that's in Europe. Europe, it's not as
soccer.
popular.
It's soccer.
So that's why they're doing the London series. And now, don't be surprised if in the next couple of years they do decide to open up the season in London again, or perhaps in another place, maybe even in Germany.
Yeah.
If they decide, because they have military bases, U.S. military bases in Germany, really all around the world. Don't be surprised if they decide to open up their season out there somewhere.
Yeah.
They want to expand the game to Europe, and I think it's great for the game, and I think that you're not going to be missing the game in Asia by any means.
Rick Porcello just let up a double off Edwin Encarnacion. He knocks in Encarnacion. Didi Gregorius, he scores off that. Rick Porcello is just getting knocked around right now, only getting one out right now. It's still the top of the first. Yeah, I think it was Tuesday, maybe?
You know, when the Yankees signed Encarnacion, I just got so annoyed. I got so annoyed.
This Yankees team is really showing that they've got all the power players in baseball, and it's showing with the way they're playing right now. Currently up 4-0 over Boston in this game. But we do want to switch it back to the ESPYs because something we didn't touch on the last segment when we were talking about it. Kirstie Enos, she is from Milton, just right down the road here. Obviously, she is a wounded veteran who lost one of her legs in service overseas, and we do thank her for her service. She is actually going to be honored with the Pat Tillman Award at the ESPYs coming up in a couple of weeks. And you know what? I could not think of a better recipient for that award.
Congratulations to her.
Yeah.
Completely deserved, and I'm very excited to hear her speech on July 10th.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. You got to think it's going to be an emotional moment as well. All right, let's get to some losers and winners here on Sports Call because we all have our different winners and losers. And if you're new to the show, we do this segment where we have winners and losers. We pick a winner in the world of sports and a loser in the world of sports. Tell them why we have them. So let's go ahead and get it started off. And Davis, we'll start with you.
Well, my winner is Kirstie Enos. This is not only a terrific local story, but just a terrific story for somebody who's been a great inspiration to veterans everywhere. So congratulations. This is definitely well-deserved, the Pat Tillman Award for service. My loser is the city of St. Petersburg. And I say they are only losers because they're the only ones that are going to get hurt by this. Yeah. They're talking about splitting the season between St. Pete and Montreal. The last time we saw a team split seasons with another city was Montreal when they were still the Expos. For 2 years in a row, they played 22 games in Puerto Rico. In 2005, they were now the Washington Nationals. I see this only being a bad result for the city of St. Pete. It's very frustrating because the fans don't want this to happen. Unfortunately, the fans also really aren't in a place to try and save the team, and it's very unfortunate, and I think only they lose from this result.
Yeah, I think, look, I've been a diehard Rays fan. I love the ball club, but I think when it comes to about the 2025 season, you may be seeing me at SunTrust Park because if they move to Montreal, I'm not going to be following a team that's in Canada. That's too far away to be going to a game.
Being a guy born and raised in St. Petersburg, born just right down the street from the stadium, going to games since they were the Devil Rays since day one. Really, my parents actually did not take me to the opening game, but they sure went. Thank you for that. I'm still slightly bitter about that, even though I was only about 4 years old. Wherever the Rays go, my heart will go there too.
But I'm talking about going to the games, though. I mean,
I can barely go to the games now. Yeah. So if I could go to Montreal for a vacation, maybe check it out, and then go to maybe a Rays game or whatever they are now, I will go. Yeah. I will go. I will still. My heart says that I will still support the Rays wherever they go and whoever it is they become.
Yeah. Oh, wow. It's not pretty for Rick Porcello. Aaron Hicks takes him way deep in right field. That's a 2-run home run. It's just, I think we need to get the plug, pull it. It's not looking good.
Hey, a lot of game left. It's still the top of the first inning. Only 1 out given up, though.
Yeah, 1 out by Rick Porcello. And 33 pitches, 6 runs. Wow.
You want to make him your loser? You want to go ahead and do
Honestly,
that?
because I was questioning my loser anyways. Yeah, my winner is going to be Megan Rapinoe of the U.S. Women's National Team, because through all the adversity, through all the drama that she is facing, she can still continues to show out for her country and just put this team on her back these past 2 games versus Spain and versus France. And she's going to be my winner of the week because she has absolutely just got this team to the semifinals, and she has just led them there. And my loser might as well just be Rick Porcello, because in 33 pitches, you've gotten 1 out, 5 hits, and you've allowed 6 runs.
And he has just been pulled.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's a good one. All right, for my winner, I'm going to go professional basketball in Southern California. Why? Because there's a very good chance that the Lakers get Kawhi Leonard, and there's also a good chance that with the meeting happening and KD wanting to talk to the Clippers, that they could get Kevin Durant. So suddenly you're going to see this professional basketball in the landscape of Southern California, where the Lakers have Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and could possibly get Kawhi Leonard if that deal works out. And then also the Clippers are going to have a guy like Kevin Durant. So basketball in Southern California is about to become really fun to watch. So those Southern California basketball fans are my winners. My loser, anybody that believes the guy that shot Big Papi missed his target and accidentally hit Big Papi, and that this whole thing is just all the stuff that's been coming out with it the past week or so. Anybody that believes that, I got some beachfront property in Oklahoma I'd like to sell you.
There's some people that believe that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Sadly.
Yeah, okay, flat earthers.
Yeah, I have a really difficult time. You say you were going after somebody else, but you accidentally shot somebody else.
And that guy.
And that person, of all people,
Is
that
legend.
you could shoot,
the legend,
is
Big
one of the
Papi.
most famous people to ever come out of the DR. Just so happens to be the person that you, quote unquote, accidentally shot.
Yeah.
I am not
And
buying
didn't
this
recognize.
argument.
He didn't know who it was when he shot him. That was And here's the thing. I did this yesterday on Sports Drive. I'm going to do it for our viewers today. So I'm going to put the camera on Davis on his one shot here, and then I'm going to stand up. And about this distance right here is about what the shooter was looking at for Big Papi. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, you're telling me that he missed and accidentally hit Big Pop? No, he hit him on purpose. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not buying that
really
argument.
good. That was really good. And I'd also like to point out that royalty welcomes the Red Sox and the New York Yankees. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle both stopped by both locker rooms before this game of the London series.
That's pretty dope.
They got pictures with them and met all the players. Here's Mookie Betts hugging Meghan Markle. What a lucky man. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, I was going to say, Prince Harry's just standing off to the side on that. I don't know what he's thinking right now. But
So a couple of weeks ago, randomly, we got into the topic of best baseball movies. A lot of times on this show, we'll be talking, and all of a sudden, just certain subjects that we had no intention on talking about just pop up out of nowhere, and we end up talking about that. So now, today, what we want to do for our listeners, since football season is quickly approaching, since we already touched on our favorite baseball movies, each of us are going to break down our top 5 best football movies.
And this is so hard.
And it's so hard.
This might be harder
But
than
I think
the
I have
baseball
my
movies.
list. I think I already know what number 1 on Justin's list is going to be.
He's pulling Lee
So
Corso.
after
He's got headgear.
He's got headgear. He's ready. He's already giving viewers a sneak peek. If you're watching on Facebook, you know what Justin's probably going to say for his number 1 movie. And if you're listening on radio, you will hear what his favorite movie is going to be after this timeout.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be right back after this.
Captain Eric Lawrence was training Afghan soldiers when his truck was hit by an IED.
I sat home alone for months. I didn't want that anymore. I wanted to go back to work. PVA helped me write my resume, got me a job interview. I got the job.
Paralyzed Veterans of America, changing lives, building futures. To learn more, visit PVA.org. A public service message from Paralyzed Veterans of America.
What'd you do this time, Brad?
I'm in the doghouse after my hunting trip last weekend.
Yeah, I was too. I blew off our date for an FSU game.
How'd you get out of the doghouse?
Stillwater's Day in Medical Spa. I got her a gift card. It took 3 minutes at swmedspa.com. She booked it this Saturday.
Saturday? So 9 holes then?
Tea time's at 8.
To enjoy a hassle-free guys' weekend, let her relax at Stillwater's Day in Medical Spa. Visit swmedspa.com. Stillwater's Day in Medical Spa, voted Best Day Spa 8 years in a row.
To give batters a different look, pitchers throw a changeup.
Your idea of a different look is sunglasses.
That's true. But La Quinta Inns and Suites is really taking the different look thing to a new level.
Definitely a major league makeover, starting with a bolder, brighter lobby full of comfortable spaces to let you settle in.
Or chill out in front of a big flat screen like Wingo would.
Oh, you know it. It's a changing La Quinta look to help you get in the zone and look sharp when you hit that big meeting.
Prepare to win at business with La Quinta Inns and Suites.
Book now at LQ.com.
Our Pensacola Wahoos are back for another season, and with the new season comes some fresh and new changes. Our Wahoos are now the new AA affiliate of the Minnesota Twins, and they have a new broadcast home here in Pensacola, right here at your hometown station for hometown sports, ESPN Pensacola 945. Catch all the Wahoos action from home and away with Chris Garagiola. Wahoos baseball presented by Denny's on the new official flagship station for the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 945 and ESPNpensacola.com.
Hear ye, hear ye. I bringeth thee a message from... a message from the king and his new trumpeter, Stephen. The king wishes me to convey his favor to thine team and thine tailgate. Not yet. He invites thee to let the Bud Light flow forth. And he also wishes me to tell thee that he toasts thee. Waiteth until the end, Stephen! With game day's favorite light lager and the slogan of his kingdom... Oh! Dilly Dilly! Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
Getting knocked down on the football field makes you tough. But getting back up makes you tougher. At Goodyear, we call that determination. A willingness to put in more hours, more reps, and more heart to reach a bar that's sky high. Because the Goodyear blimp doesn't show up for just anybody. So don't be just anybody. Be blimp-worthy. Goodyear, more driven.
Pensacola 94.5, also on your HD radio at HD2 98.7 WYCT and streaming on our website, ESPNpensacola.com. Welcome back into Sports Call with Jordan and Davis. And we're going to switch things up here and not talk about something that's happening in the world of sports. We're going to talk about some football movies and just kind of have a good debate about this. So if you'd like to join in and be a part of it, 850-972-1945. You can call or text there. Again, that number, 850-972-1945. Or you can also head over to our Facebook page where we are streaming live. You can comment there as well. And this list, we were compiling our top 5 football-based movies. And this list, you think, oh, yeah, this movie, this movie, this movie, this movie. And then you look at all the football movies that have been made. This list is so hard to do. It might actually even be a little tougher than the baseball list we did a couple of weeks ago.
I'm kind of struggling right now.
I'm standing by my baseball list.
So no, the baseball list is solid, and we've got those out there, and we ended up, settling on those movies. But this one, my goodness, this is tough. And I will be honest, my top 5 is still not finished, so I'm going to leave it up to one of you guys to start this off.
Mine's done. Now, I'm going to go ahead and list off the teams that were honorable mentions, but they did not crack the top 5.
The teams? The movies.
The movies.
Yeah. It's like the teams.
The movies that are great movies, don't get me wrong, but they did not make my personal top 5. Those movies would be The Blind Side.
Yep.
Remember the Titans.
Yep.
The Longest Yard was always a great movie.
Funny.
I haven't seen Any Given Sunday in a long time, but I will put Any Given Sunday.
Wait, hang on. With The Longest Yard, Adam Sandler or Burt Reynolds?
Yeah, which one?
Oh, Adam Sandler.
Okay.
Although Burt Reynolds was also in.
He was.
That one.
He was.
And also, I do want to give some mad love to Jerry Maguire. And also, I do want to give some mad love to Friday Night Lights. And We Are Marshall, another good movie. But now my top 5, starting with number 5, The Replacements. The Replacements. Keanu Reeves, Gene Hackman, all-star cast.
Yep.
Coming into this movie. Shane Falco.
Even though he played at Florida State. Yeah.
He easily, though, Shane Falco, one of the best quarterbacks ever to come out of a movie, right? Shane Falco and The Replacements. Number 5. Number 4, Adam Sandler's The Water Boy. The Water Boy, the guy, the little man, who out of nowhere goes from serving water to the players for the rival school, gets fired, goes to another school, and ends up not only being really smart and passes all of his classes and his big test, he also it's also discovered he has a little bit of rage and can lay one hell of a hit. Water Boy, number 4. Number 3, Rudy. Easily one of the most inspirational movies anyone could ever watch. There is absolutely no way you are not trying to run through a brick wall after that movie. Rudy makes number 3 for my list. I've seen that movie so many times, I've easily lost count, and I lost count a long time ago.
A lot of people remember Vince Vaughn in that movie as well.
Vince Vaughn played he did play a small role in that movie, but at the same time, his role was significant.
Yeah.
He was in that movie. Number 2, Little Giants. This movie has it's a soft spot for me.
Yeah.
This movie is about the little man. It's about the little man overcoming the big, bad, scary team. They come in there. They have to get a couple players to help carry the team. Some of the young, scrappy players. They are the football version of the Bad News Bears. This was a perfect movie to watch as a kid. Easily a part of my childhood. Made me want to be a football player, although I did not choose football in the end. I was a baseball player. Little Giants is number 2 on my list, but number 1 of all times, Varsity Blues.
Yes. It's a 10.
Varsity Blues. Hands down, that is the epitome of Texas football. And especially, it's such a relatable movie because there are plenty of athletes out there who have especially parents, and there could be parents out there that are guilty of this where they push their kids too far and they lose sight of what it is that's really important. You have the main character who really he doesn't care a whole lot for football. Ends up getting thrusted into the quarterback position to the pleasing of his dad, but he really wants to be. He wants to be a doctor. He wants to go to Brown University. He gets accepted into Brown, but the only thing his dad's concerned about is, are there any football scholarships? Not even concerned at all. Happy that his son just got accepted into an Ivy League school, but rather he's more concerned about football. And then you have the coach who's willing to play his players under any kind of circumstances. One of the players tears an ACL, and all he says is get a cortisone shot and get back out there.
Mm-hmm.
This is a perfect movie that is filled with controversy, people who lose sight of what it is that's truly important, but also just it is a pure football movie.
And when you watch this movie, you know, like around the time that this movie came out, when you watch it, you go, there's no way that there's actually coaches like that. And now we see with different coaches that have lost their job because of situations like that, that movie is actually very real and very much set in reality. Do you have your top 5 yet?
I'm just now making an adjustment.
All right, I will go ahead and give mine. So I'll start with my honorable mentions. I have All the Right Moves. Tom Cruise in that movie. Did a great job in that movie. It's a highly underrated football movie. A lot of people don't mention that one. Friday Night Lights is on my honorable mentions as well. Believe it or not, I have Rudy on my honorable mentions.
Okay.
Just because the number 1 spot was 2 inspirational stories that are 2 true stories. I could not decide which one was which, so I just kind of 50-50, just put one on one list, one on the other. So my top 5, I'm starting off. I have The Replacements at number 5. Got Varsity Blues at number 4. Little Giants at number 3. Brian's Song at number 2, because that's just a great movie. And
so good and so sad.
And then at number 1, I'm going the opposite route. Where you went with the inspirational college story with Rudy, I'm going to go the inspirational NFL story, Invincible, the Vince Papale story.
That was a great one.
Yeah. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
Good movie. Mark Wahlberg starred in that movie and was the story itself,
is it the
fun.
best one ever made? Probably not, but the story behind it is incredible.
Yeah, I think Disney being behind that movie may have hurt it for me.
Yeah,
although
me too.
Disney has made a couple of really solid sports movies. In fact, The Greatest Game Ever Played.
Yeah, Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans is also a Disney movie. So there was they've definitely had some respectable sports movies, but does it make it number 1 for me? Probably not.
No.
I think they make it a little too feel goody.
They did, yeah.
All right, my top 5. If I can get it, come back up. I have Woodlawn at 5. I actually want to give an honorable mention out to Facing the Giants. That was I don't know if any of y'all seen that.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
When you talk about inspirational, I mean it was super inspirational. My dad made me watch that movie, and happy he
That
did.
scene where he crawls the length of the field.
The death
oh,
crawl,
my
the death
goodness.
crawl scene.
Yeah.
Where he was blindfolded and he thought he was just going 50 yards. They took him the whole 100. That was amazing. Then The Express, the Ernie Davis story.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Good
great.
movie.
My All-American at 3, the Texas football story, based on a true story, I believe.
Yeah, it is based on a true story. That is that. I didn't care for that movie. As much,
but
although the story itself is cool.
And then I have The Blind Side at 2, the Michael Moore story. That was a great
movie.
story. And then, of course, I have for my number 1 movie is my hometown of Marshall. Not Marshall, but of Huntington, West Virginia, where Marshall resides. Just a great story. It's probably the worst sports tragedy in all of sports, in my opinion. On this helmet, I have every name that died in the plane crash in 1970 on November 14th. I have the 75 on the side of this helmet, and then on this side of the helmet, I have the old Sons of Marshall logo.
They need to bring that logo back. Maybe not necessarily
They have. I think
MU,
they did
that,
for one
yeah,
game.
That is a nice logo.
Brackett was one of the assistant coaches who died. And then, he was the assistant coach who didn't come, who was on the plane for that game.
Like Red Dawson?
Yeah. Yep. And then Shoebridge, he was the quarterback of that team, and just a great story. I've seen so many scenes of where that movie was recorded back home. I've been to the Spring Hill Cemetery many times. I think me and my dad, we go there almost every time we're in Huntington. We've seen a lot of. They were at the last game at Fairfield Stadium of where all these games took place that this team played on, and just a great story. If you haven't seen that movie, I really think everyone should see that movie at least some point in their life.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's one of those movies where every time it's on, I watch it.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey plays a great role.
He played a great role in this movie. I think he was a very big. I think a big part of why he did it is because it was a story that I think should have got out there, and he really helped. He was a big part of getting that story out there, and I think, and this was one of the worst. I think it is the worst tragedy in sports history.
Oh, absolutely. And we need to head to the phone lines real quick because we've got Matt on the phone lines. He wants to make a comment on a football movie here. Matt, what's going on, buddy?
Hey guys, how are y'all today?
Good, Matt.
Good. So I might have missed y'all talking about these. Got in the car just a second ago and heard a top 5, and I got to say I don't know how you can't put 2 movies in your top 5 somewhere. The Program and Any Given Sunday. To me, Now I get it. Y'all are talking about movies that have inspirational stories and great storylines, or maybe based on a true story. And I'm not knocking those, but as far as a football movie that looks real, has real deal looking at, some football that are terrible. I still remember seeing Any Given Sunday at theater first time. And those on-field shots and everything, I just think that's one of the top 3 football movie of all time, Any Given Sunday. What do y'all think?
Well, Any Given Sunday, I mentioned before that they were on my honorable mention list, but I will say this. If there is a scene where you could talk about best inspirational speech, it has to be Al Pacino's speech to his team. I can't quote all of it because some of it involves the F word, but it is one of the most inspirational speeches you could ever hear. And I was mentioning earlier, there's a movie that you'd want to watch where it makes you want to bust through a wall. Hearing Al Pacino's speech in Any Given Sunday makes me want to run through a wall. So I definitely would say best inspirational speech comes from Any Given Sunday.
And we were talking about Varsity Blues and how coaches will kind of overlook injuries and they'll go with that and just kind of be, get a cortisone shot and you'll be absolutely fine. And that happens in Any Given Sunday as well. There's players that get injuries. The guy with a concussion, the guy can die. The guy can have a serious injury and lose his life because of how many concussions he has. And it's like, give him some Tylenol, put him back out on the field. So that's another. Yeah, that was a great movie. I think it's another one that's overlooked as well.
Certainly on my honorable mentions list. But Matt, thank you so much for the call. We do have to take a break, but we appreciate you being part of the show, man.
All right, we'll be right back after this on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
There's a lot going on right now, and broadcasters are on the ground covering all of it, bringing you the weather, the traffic, and breaking news, all while entertaining you 24 hours a day. Someone needs to tell you what's going on around the world and in our hometowns. And that someone is us. We are free radio. We are always there. We are broadcasters. Visit wearebroadcasters.com or text radio to 52886 to learn more. Furnished by NAB and this station.
ESPN Pensacola 945 is locally owned by the ADX Communications Group. That includes News Radio 92.3 and AM 1620, Cat Country 98.7 and 1330 WEBY 99.1 FM. This means that we have the staff, the experience, and the generators to get you through the storm before, during, and after. We care, and we're ready because we're local. ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
Here are the ESPN Pensacola 94.5 contest rules. You can win one prize per household per contest in any 30-day period, unless specified by individual contest rules. All prizes on ESPN Pensacola 94.5 are non-transferable, non-redeemable in cash, nor exchangeable for any other prize. ESPN Pensacola 94.5 prizes must be redeemed within a 30-day period of winning, and you must be 18 years of age or older to win. For a complete list of rules, visit ESPNpensacola.com. ESPN Pensacola 94.5 is accepting applications for employment. Periodically, we have openings in sales, business, news, promotions, engineering, production, and programming. We'll keep your application for consideration when such an opening occurs. We also provide internships to qualified students. Apply online at ESPNpensacola.com or at our studios at 7251 Plantation Road behind University Town Plaza on Davis Highway between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. ADX Communications is an equal opportunity employer.
There's a lot going on right now, and broadcasters are on the ground covering all of it, bringing you the weather, the traffic, and breaking news, all while entertaining you 24 hours a day. Someone needs to tell you what's going on around the world and in our hometowns, and that someone is us. We are free radio. We are always there.
We are broadcasters, your home for Pensacola sports, ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
There's only one natural ingredient that could instantly shift your mood, help you focus, lower stress, and boost your self-confidence. It's available everywhere, works immediately, is affordable, and can change the quality of your life forever. It's called playing music.
Side effects include restless foot syndrome, spontaneous undulation, and can be highly contagious. If a smile doesn't last for more than 4 hours, consult your nearest music store.
Just play. Your prescription to a better life. Brought to you by the NAM Foundation.
ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Welcome back into Sports Call with Jordan and Davis. Having a lot of fun here on this gorgeous Saturday. I know it's a little overcast, but still, it's a Saturday closer to college football season, and that's what makes it gorgeous. We're having a lot of fun. About 10 minutes left in the show. Do want to remind you, Boston and New York currently playing in London. It's the London series for Major League Baseball. New York jumped out to a 6-0 lead in the top of the first, but Boston, bases loaded, no outs. They've already scored one run. Yeah.
Andrew Beattini is up. I don't know if you guys remember, but last year he called game versus Houston in Game 6, I believe it was. He caught that game that had that game-saving catch with I think it was base like one on second and third. Andrew Beattini, he was the Golden Spikes Award winner when he played back in Arkansas. He was a great player out back in Arkansas. He was a great center fielder, and he had a massive swing. He could crush the ball for days.
Yeah, Benintendi's been a solid baseball player for the Red Sox. He doesn't always jump off the page, but he can get you a timely hit. So him up here, bases loaded, no out. He's 0-2 on the count. Let's see if Tanaka can work out of this one.
He's hitting 277 on the year.
Oh, but he left. That was a bad 0-2 pitch. I didn't like that 0-2 pitch. Leaving it.
Make him chase it. Don't give him something to hit.
Threw him a weak slider that didn't really run low and inside like I think he was aiming for him to do.
Honestly, I think Tanaka's more of a problem than Porcello was because he's got bases loaded, no out. So they can definitely even this thing up. They put the ball in play twice here. They not even it up, but they can cut this lead in half at least.
All right, now it's time of that part. Yeah. It's that part of the show where we talk about our quick hits. This is the time where we talk about stories real quickly that we didn't get a chance to talk about during the bulk of the show. And I'll get us let off. The inaugural 3M Championship that's going to be taking place next week in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And who will not be playing in the tournament Tiger Woods. And this is kind of significant because this is looking to be the final tournament leading up to the Open Championship, which is going to be taking place at Royal Portrush in Northern Ireland. Tiger Woods hasn't played since the U.S. Open. I want to say that I would love to see him play at least one tournament leading up to this tournament. Tiger Woods did not play in another tournament between the Masters and the PGA. He missed the cut at the PGA. Tiger did play in another tournament leading up to the U.S. Open. He managed to make the cut and even had a strong finish on Sunday, although he was well outside of the top 10. Leading up to this tournament, I would have wanted to have seen Tiger play in at least a tournament going into Northern Ireland. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. And Tiger, by the way, has never played in a tournament the week before the British Open. He has won the British Open, 3 times, 4 times? I think he's won the tournament 4 times. He's aiming to make it a 5th, just like he did at the Masters. But ever since that Masters win, he has not been playing a whole lot of golf, unless it's a majors. I think he's played in 4 tournaments since. I really wish he'd play in this one, but it looks like he's not going to be playing again until we see him tee off on that Thursday of the British Open.
All right, for my top story of the week, I'm going to go with Julia Hurricane Hawkins. Now, if you haven't heard this story, she is 103 years old, and what makes the difference in this is she is a sprinter for the Senior Olympics. And while others pretty much power walk, at the age of 103, she is out there not only participating, but full-on sprinting the 100-meter dash, which is the event she competes in. And she won gold earlier this month in the Senior Olympics there in Albuquerque. So I want to say congratulations to her. But the story behind this is when she first got started, and this is somebody that's been active her entire life. She never owned a car. She rode a bicycle everywhere she went. She finished her first 100-meter dash, and a little girl came up to her asking for a picture. And, the little girl said, I just started running for my school's track team. You're an inspiration to me because of your age and the fact that you never quit. You're continuing to do this at the age you are. They took the picture. The girl has printed out her picture and has hung it up on her wall. And I'm going to go ahead and make this hot take right now on Sports Call, and it can be recorded on the record from our skimmer. In the future, there will be a 30 for 30 on ESPN about the next big-time USA track Olympic athlete, and it's going to be this little girl, and they're going to be talking about this picture that she had hanging on her wall of this 103-year-old woman who was still competing at the age of 103. Not just competing, but full-out sprinting in the Senior Olympics in the 100-meter dash.
Ooh, thinking big picture.
I love that. I love that a lot. He really went wide.
I did.
I love it, and I hope she stays inspired. I hope she stays true, and I really hope she goes after her goal and dream. But my quick story is not a big one. It's something that could or couldn't happen. It happened during it. This came out during the show. Kevin Durant, he says he considers a possible partnership with Kawhi Leonard, and that just opens up a lot for me because it's like, where would you do this partnership?
Yeah, the Clippers.
The Clippers, maybe. But when would it happen? Is also the other question. I mean,
man, the only place I could see that possibly working would be the Knicks because they have 2 spots available where they could sign 2 superstars. They could do 2 supermax contracts. They did set themselves up for that. It's amazing how this offseason just kind of went to crap for the Knicks in a way.
Yeah, well.
But I mean,
Are
we surprised?
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. I want to go back to, because we still have a couple of minutes here on the show, so I want to go back to this topic. We meant to get this at the top of the show, but we couldn't do it. The men's national team struggles compared to the women's national team. That's no surprise. So the question I want to ask, will the men's national team ever be as good as the women's national team when it comes to soccer?
No.
No,
I say no, but I also say no with a lot of respect to our men's team.
Yes.
And just say that here in the United States, the most popular sport out there, you could argue, is football, baseball, basketball. Those seem to be the big 3 sports. And if you're up north, hockey certainly has a big presence, but hockey is also bigger in other places, although Team USA tends to hold their own during the tournaments, right? So I believe if you give us any other sport, baseball, we're the most recent World Series, like World Classic champions. Basketball, we seem to win every year. Gold medals just keep coming. Look, soccer is a big sport in other countries. In Spain, in England, Portugal, Germany, Netherlands. In these other countries, soccer is a huge, huge, huge sport. That's just not the case here in the United States. Yes, we have a lot of fans in the United States, but for the most part, you're holding the football in your hand.
Yeah.
It's football, it's baseball, it's basketball. Those are the really big sports in the United States that we focus more on. Of these other countries, they have the better talent. And when it comes to women's soccer, and I do not want to discredit Team USA, the women's soccer team, by saying this, but in other countries, women's soccer isn't the biggest focus because also there are other countries where women just don't have the upper hand. So they do not necessarily get the opportunity to play sports like men would in other countries.
Yeah.
So it does, in all fairness, you should keep that part in mind. In the United States, our women's soccer team, they flourish. They have the opportunities to flourish a whole lot more, and they just do have the talent. That is how I look at it. I could be dead wrong. Especially in the part of soccer just has an ability to flourish more in other countries, not so much in the United States. That's just my take on it.
All right, well, that is going to be all the time we have for on today's show. I do agree with Davis on everything he said there, but we'll be back next Saturday, same time, same channel. It's Sports Call with Jordan and Davis right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5. We'll talk to you next week. Have a great week.